Welcome to the final day of Ether Rays for this light season. We are taking on Rog, and yeah, this is going to be a pretty quick match. Kind of anticlimactic, but sometimes you get an easy way out. Yeah, it's totally fine. We're just going to go up here, bop them with Golveg, and yeah, it's pretty much GG's. Oh, right. So one of the things that I actually wanted to mention was I felt like we were being a little bit too, well, I'll probably include myself in this. Maybe we're being sometimes a little bit too harsh on Faye. Like, that's one of the things that, like, after I've had some time to think about it and just kicking back and chilling, that's one of the conclusions that I came to about the Faye channel. Probably just a little bit too harsh, but then also I don't really play any other gacha games, so I don't really have comparison for it aside from just, you know, secondhand word of mouth, or second, what do you call that, because it's not their hand, it's word of mouth. Okay, it's just word of mouth about how they get, you know, a bunch of stuff over there. So, you know, there's that. You know, some gacha games just give out more, but then also Faye isn't really the worst. So I guess this is probably one of those times where I'm probably like, I feel like I'm probably complaining a little bit too much. I haven't really been complaining. I just felt like they could have just given us more, I feel. Let's go crazy. 80 orbs. You know, why not? It's not like people are just not going to buy orbs, or the people that spend money are still going to buy orbs, even though we got the 80 orbs. It's that stage of the game where there's just so many things to summon on that even if you gave out 80 orbs, you'd probably still make bank, because there's just so much stuff to summon on, and it's all really decent at the very least. So yeah, I don't know, that's just like one of the things that I probably wanted to just mention. And I also kind of the same thing, like without even seeing the Three Houses actual, like some of the kits and stuff, well, this weapon descriptions more importantly, I felt like I've probably given the Three Houses banner a bit of the Valentine's banner a bit of a because I don't even really feel like pulling on it, just because I feel like they're all archetypes that we've seen before. Claude is probably the only one that I'd probably be interested in, and Edelgard if she has pass, but I mean, I really don't really see the need to summon on that banner, which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe Rhea, you know, depending on what she can do, but yeah. And that is, again, me, I feel like I'm being a little bit too critical because it's not like they're bad units, it's just expectations versus what we actually got. I feel like expectations were not met for what the Valentine's banner is supposed to be. It's kind of crazy. The first time that we got armored units on the Valentine's banner, it was pretty nuts with Gustav and Henriette, but I feel like at this stage you're gonna have to one up that. Rhea and Sothis are gonna have to be like really nuts, and then drawback, no English voice lines, so kind of a downer for me. But yeah, I don't know, I felt like even with the CYL stuff, I felt like we've probably been just a little bit too critical about some of the, because I saw a lot of people like just hating on Byleth, and I also kind of hated on Byleth, but then let's see what they actually do with the units before we, you know, absolutely flat out hate on him. 428, Jesus Christ, he hits hard. But yeah, yeah, I just feel like we give Faye sometimes a little bit too much stick in terms of just what they're doing. It's not always the worst, you know. It's decent. They could do better. You know, things like that. Sometimes we just flat out say that it's just really bad, and it's just not entirely the case. But yeah, this was pretty short, so I'm probably going to add some extra content for your viewing pleasure, I guess. Alright, so this is what I have, or one of the defenses that I have in mind for the new mechanic. Man, I am not liking it. I think I mentioned earlier in the week that I'm having kind of a hard time just trying to figure out how to build around it. And this is probably like one of the other things that we've been a little bit too critical of. Well, not too critical, just too much hate on it. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but as you can see here, this is essentially a free spot, and it's always going to be a free spot that the enemy can initiate on. You know, you can't put a trap on it, so it's just always, they're always going to have a free spot to attack from melee range, and that's not great. But then also, that unit needs to be within range of your far saves so that they're protected. So because it's going to pop up and be exposed, so you can't really have it anywhere else in terms of just, you know, coverage. It's really again, difficult to build around, but this is, you know, these are the two things that I've come up with in terms of just like damage and stuff. We got Neathauger here, but as you can see, minus HP isn't the greatest thing. She's probably the main unit that I'm worried about for this particular configuration because she's blue, and that doesn't do well into Lyn. And also, I kind of want to swap out dual peony for something else. I don't know what, but I still would need another duo unit to fit into the defense so that I can activate the duo's hindrance, because of course that's necessary still, even though, you know, all the duo units that we've gotten aren't the greatest. You still want to have that active. And also, no Canto control. It's very difficult to find a spot to put that in. I mean, I could put it on Athos, but I don't know. I don't know what my future is going to be with this old man, so I'm just going to leave it hanging for a bit. But this is the current matchup. Neither of them are blessed correctly, so take that into consideration. But then also, Neathauger is doing a little bit better than I expected here, primarily because this Lyn isn't really getting the support that she normally would get from like a spawn camping team. Really. This isn't like what the realistic expectations are going to be for what this Neathauger is going to match into. It's not like the worst thing in the world. She's doing fairly well, but like I actually think I should test it properly in terms of what you could actually run into. Let me set up a team here. It's going to be Cordelia, I think, that has the dual strike, which works really like. It's interesting how they made Cordelia a little bit more relevant in the sense that Dual Strike was the lesser of the triangle attack versions. It wasn't really great, but then for Ether raids, it's actually preferred because you will at least have 2 units that will have the status effect active versus the 3 that's required for triangle attack. So yeah, it actually works out. They're doing pretty well when it comes to unit design, and as you can see here, just adding that alone, Neathauger goes boom, 5 hits. Not great for her there, but yeah, that's really my main concern. How to make her tankier, this Neathauger. Of course, you know, mythic blessings, mythic blessings and buffs will, you know, do the world of good for her, but she's still gonna need like one other support unit. Athos is offering some stats, but as you can see here, it doesn't really amount to much. Yeah, I don't really know who to put in that slot. I mean, if it's not Neathauger, and also I kind of need her there. Want her there because of the support that she provides. The Hexblade and the DR halving status effects are actually really beneficial. So I've kind of wanted to keep her there because of those effects. But then also the defense +6 visible buff is also actually the worst because it means that I can't really configure this how I'd like to configure it. I want to put Ira a little bit closer to Micaiah, but I can't because then Micaiah will have all stats up 6 all the time, and I can't rally trap, which is kind of what this is in a sense. Deflect missile here, put it in work, but again, this isn't like the be all and end all of Lyn team compositions. There's at least one more piece to the puzzle that's probably going to be there to make this perform better, the Lyn team here. So I'm going to do that as well, just to see how Neathauger stacks against that, and then depending on the outcome there, I might scrap this Neathauger comp and go with Fjorm. The thing about Fjorm is that I know with a little bit of speed support, primarily Sedith, she will not lose the speed check to Lyn, so she won't die at the very least. So that much I know, but the thing is, Fjorm is Fjorm. You know, you kind of really want to run Neathauger. I'd like to run Neathauger, especially because I plan to fodder her down the line for higher ground. To, you know, Tree Man. I plan to do that, so I don't want to become too attached to this particular Neathauger. And I think I probably just want to use her for this siege, and then after that I'll probably like move on. Yeah, there you go. That's at least 2 times as much damage as before, so I don't know, not looking great for her here. And it would be a little bit too easy for, you know, the enemy team to then pick everyone else off, so not like too enthused about that. Pretty sure that Fjorm would survive, no diff, with the set of support. Man, like I keep saying it, man, we need another unit or a unit that can offer the same amount, if not more, support that Sedith provides as a 5-star. I really would not mind if they literally hit for like wet noodles. It doesn't matter. I just want the stats. I literally just want the stats. Probably even if it's a dual unit, that would be even better, because then I don't have to worry about who to put in that dual slot, which is one of the problems, because if I drop well, I'd like to drop for Mortis as well, so I can put in Nagi, but that also has its own can of worms, because Mythic extra stats, having the extra Mythic would help out a ton as well. Speed Blessing for Ira. Yeah, it's just not great in terms of the options that I have to pick from here to try to get this particular configuration to work. I originally was using...
Let's go.
Yeah, he dies as well. Yeah, I was originally using Shield Fighter. Probably he survives, and I do have Shield Fighter there, but I don't know. I prefer Neathauger support. That's the thing. I prefer Neathauger support. I want the Hexblade. Well, not the Hexblade. I want the DR Halving. I think that's very important to the way that this team will perform, especially if I get that surprise unit in that you saw earlier. The surprise unit benefits greatly from that DR Halving. So, I don't know. It's a lot to think about. Probably locked myself into using this particular configuration because I don't want to... I want to use the units that I haven't used in a while. And also this new one, Ira. I really want to get her in there just to see how she'll perform. But yeah, I'm going to think about that some more, see how it pans out. It's not the final version or anything, just preliminary after 5 days of testing that I've come up with. And it'll probably look something like that. I'd love to get Freyr in there, but I just have not been able to figure it out. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack this because still got a little bit to talk about. So yeah, let's just play this and keep talking in the meantime. But yeah, I still have a couple of options that I want to try in terms of building on that defense. I actually wanted to try Legendary Shez as well, but problem being, I don't think it's gonna be fire season. I think we just had wind and water, so maybe it's gonna be earth season. I'm not sure. Should find out in a little bit, but it's definitely gonna be water season since Ira just popped out. So I don't know what the other configuration is other option is gonna be. So there's that. Shez is really good now with Speed Taker that I've given to her, so she does a ton of damage. The problem is she needs to KO in the first 2 hits, or have some type of flash support. Otherwise, she will die because she doesn't have any form of damage reduction. So, downside, she has to get it in the first 2 hits.
Agreed.
So That's the only downside to the legendary she has currently, but she can do it. She can actually do it to both Neathhoggers, which is really great. Not Shield Fighter, of course not Shield Fighter. Shield Fighter is a whole different thing. And that's also something that I'm trying to figure out what to do. If I run into some type of Shield Fighter composition, the team that I'm building doesn't really fight too well into Team Shield Fighter fire saves, but I'm gonna figure it out. I had this one really good strategy, or not strategy, but composition where Potent was really all over the team, but I can't do that because of positioning and far save coverage, so I can't get it to work the way that I want to. And also the buffs. I really wish that she did not give out the attack and speed buff, because it makes it so hard to build around her, and I'm referring to Ira here. If Ira didn't give out the attack and speed buff, it would be a lot easier. She could have just given out Potent. That is all she needed to do. She didn't need to give out the attack and speed as well. So, yeah, really annoying that they did that. But I'm gonna keep trying. And I don't know when they started to give. I don't know why they've started to emphasize on giving defensive saves status effects are blue buffs as well. They really would prefer to have the in combat status buffs as opposed to the blue buffs. Personally, that's what I think, but it is what it is. Ton of overlap there as well, because Freya would also give the defense and res up 6, so that's one of the reasons that I didn't really put him there. And also I need the warping from Micaiah for mobility. So man, it's just a lot to think about. But yeah, that's like the defense that I'm trying to figure out how to use or build. It's not easy, man. It ain't easy building these defenses to work in the higher tiers, and then eventually it ends up not mattering because someone will just sack play and take out your entire team with the rest of the units that they have. But yeah, I'm just gonna deal with it for now.
To where?
Yeah. Secondary thoughts. Ash with her refine. Did I mention it? I'm not excited for that. I was actually hoping that remix, from what I've seen so far, I was actually hoping that they would have given her some type of divine nectar. Is it divine nectar effects? So that you could get the extra action, because that pairs really well with her warping stick. But currently she kind of looks like side grade free to play Thor. That's kind of what she looks like she's going to become. She's definitely going to be bulky, that much is certain. Maybe she offers some type of special jump or something, healing, I don't know. But really what I wanted her to do, or what I would like for her to do, is to give another source of divine nectar, even though it's not going to be divine nectar because that's not her thing. She's a different unit, but if she could do something similar, that would be great. I think that would work really well into what she's doing, especially a free-to-play version of it, and then to have it on offense as well. I think that would be great. It pairs really well with the warping. And then Xander really just surprised me in terms of like what he is looking like he's gonna be doing. He is looking like he's gonna be good. It looks like they're giving him the goods, and I'm actually excited to use my Xander. I only ever got one Xander and he's still sitting in my barracks. So binding worlds, binding whatever that thing is that they're going to give us, that's going to be interesting. If he pops up there, I'll probably pick up a copy, because I don't think I have like a axe cav that's super great, aside from like man, words escape me. Marissa's cool, but not the tankiest. And then we have Carla. So aside from those two, I don't really have a ton of axe calves that like put in work. And I think that Xander could fill that role, and it looks like they're going to give him the goods. So I'm kind of excited for his refine and remix. So let's see how that pans out. And then I didn't finish did I finish all of my thoughts about the CYL options? I think I pretty much got it all out there that I wanted to say. Really excited. I hope they give us a horse Byleth, or Byleth on a horse, just because that hasn't been done yet, really, at least to my memory. and it's a great opportunity to like build around Geralt's with Byleth. I think that would be a good idea, but let's see what they do. Banners.
Onward. Yes.
Hopefully things slow down because it's been a big crazy. I think I was showing that I got Hrid from the free pull thing, so I got Hrid there, Summer Hrid. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. Probably fodder him for the C skill, since I don't actually use the Hrid that I currently have. Don't know what to do with him, to be honest. Not that he's bad, I literally just don't know what to do with him. And then, man, I actually want to, I'm trying to see if,
What now?
Golvik will live a hit from Tree Man here. Just want to see if it's possible. Okay. Alright. I'm going to try one more turn just to see if it's possible for Golvik to live a hit from him. 300 dying here is kind of unfortunate, but let's, I'm going to put Golvik in front here just to see if she can live. But yeah,
We mustn't get lost. Into the surf.
That's pretty much everything, I think. I don't think I've missed anything out. Yeah, I don't think it's the worst. I saw a lot, like I've heard a lot of people are saying that this is the worst CYL ever. And I feel like that's kind of too early to say, especially with how unique the unit selections are. A lot of them are just, okay, she dies, okay. A lot of them are like just one-offs, like we haven't gotten a beast unit before. Sharena is obviously gonna, you know, that's gonna be great. Byleth is kind of, you know, whatever, but then Boulder, we don't know exactly what direction they're going to go with, but she could potentially be really strong, especially with what her weapon looks like. I can definitely see her like being like the best, one of the best flyers in the game. So, which again adds on to the flyers that we currently have. And the thing that I was saying about flyers not being the greatest, so definitely we're going to get some type of flyer upgrade, I think, within this book. But yeah, just like I was saying, that Fjorm is probably going to be the better one to perform here. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking. The problem with this configuration is that Seteth doesn't do much aside from offer the stats, and I kind of want an additional option here. I really like having the dancer, but I can't fit a dancer in here, so I don't really know what to do. I liked having dual peony, and if I'm gonna run Fjorm, Seteth pretty much has to be there. There's just no two ways around it. Because as you can see here, Lynn is doing 92, and that's gonna scale up to 99. So, yeah.
Let's get a favorable wind.
But yeah, I'm kind of stalling now. I don't know why I'm stalling, because it's not like I need to make this any longer than it already is. I'm going to do the defense replays and put that out later. I feel like this week was pretty decent. Also, there's going to be one in there that I kind of want to get some feedback on just to see what happened there. But I feel like this one is pretty decent in terms of wins and losses altogether. And yeah, I feel like that's everything. Am I forgetting anything?
Engage.
Oh yeah, I voted for Ira for the Hero Rises. I think that she's probably going to be the better choice, because in terms of longevity, she's a legendary unit. Getting merges on her is definitely going to be to your benefit, especially if you get a free copy. I definitely think she's worth it. So that's going to be where a couple of my votes go. I don't think I'm going to vote for Neathauger, just because we're going to get more save units throughout this year, and she is, at the beginning of the year, by the end of the year, probably not going to be usable. So I don't see a point in putting, you know, support behind Neathauger in specific. I think we're going to get a better save unit before the year ends, so no point there. Ira is gonna, she's just gonna age better, in my opinion, because she's a mythic. And then also Lynn, I'm definitely gonna throw some votes for CYL, for choose your Hero Rises for Lynn. I think emblem units are going to be great on that banner, but then overall, I don't think it's going to be a good pull. It's not going to be a fun time pulling on the eventual banner because it's going to be giving you double special banners feelings, and that's always not great. But GG's.